Garden City Church of Christ would like to welcome you to a celebration of veterans in our community this evening and this afternoon, to thank them for serving in the United States military and keeping our country free. We would like to offer all of our veterans a gift later in the program that will be handed out by our youth. Thank you for taking the time last night to be with us and again this afternoon. Many Americans mistakenly believe that Veterans Day is a day Americans set aside to honor American military personnel who have died in battle or as a result of the wounds sustained from combat. That's not quite true. Memorial Day is the day set aside to honor American war dead. Veterans Day, on the other hand, honors all American veterans, both living and dead. In fact, Veterans Day is largely intended to thank living veterans for dedicated and loyal service to their country. November 11th of each year is the day that we ensure veterans know that we deeply appreciate the sacrifices they have made in their lives and in their families' lives to keep our country free. That day happens to be this coming Monday. Let us not forget those courageous men and women who have kept our nation free. Quote by Ronald Reagan, "If we ever forget we are one nation under God, then we will be a nation long under."
we find great inspiration. We come once again to let the words of freedom ring.
It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln.
We learn the words from those who've gone before, and now our children wait to hear them more. And truth they hold, never ends, will proudly say, once again, let the words of freedom ring. Let the words of freedom ring. Let the words of freedom ring.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal from the Declaration of Independence.
Repentant Henry, I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
It cannot be emphasized too strongly or too often that this great nation was founded not by religionists, but by Christians, and not on just religion, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. The course of this conflict is not known, yet its outcome is certain. Freedom and fear, justice and cruelty have always been at war, and we know that God is not neutral between them. George W. Bush.
Of liberty and justice for all, let our song true resound, and in the way through every day, to freedom's golden sound. Let the words of freedom ring. Let the words of freedom ring.
Yes, let the words of freedom ring. Let them fill the hearts of every American and every person that longs to live in freedom. That's what this celebration is all about. And now we rise, like all patriots who love liberty, to say just 31 words holding so much meaning for all Americans. It starts with I, which means one, but ends with all, and that means every one of us. These words honor the flag that has flown all across the world representing our republic. They pledge our loyalty and express our total dependence on our God. In recent days, some of these words have come under attack, but now we say them again proudly. Please stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance, led by World War II veteran Gene Miller, and also the pledge to the Christian flag led by veteran Lauren Leeser.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
And now join us as we sing our national anthem led by Sarah Sharp.
Through our history, there have been those among us paid the price of freedom. We know many of their names, men like George Washington, Patrick Henry, women like Betsy Ross and Dolly Madison. There are many others who are heroes of colonial America, but their courage was not unique. Through the years, there have been Americans who answered the call of our country. Clara Barton, Alvin York, and Douglas MacArthur, Norman Schwarzkopf, and Christa McAuliffe, to name a few. Some have been ordinary citizens thrust into the front lines for our country. They include men like Todd Beamer, whose words, "Let's roll" on September 11, 2001, become a battle cry for our nation. We must never forget their courage and selflessness, and many more who gave their lives for our freedom. In their honor, we set up a remembrance table in the foyer and would like to take a moment of silence in their honor. But for every name we know, there are countless unknown countrymen and women who defended our freedom. Not all of them died for our cause, but all were willing to. We must always remember and honor those who have stood at the gates of our cities for us.
I may never be famous or wealthy. I may never have influence in the political arena. You may never see my name on the headlines of America's news media. You may never know my name, but I am proud of what I've become. I'm a soldier. I will protect you, and if necessary, I will die for you. Retired Master Sergeant Patricia A. Franklin.
A long time ago, there was a small county on the North Sea in Belgium called Flanders. Beginning about 700 years ago, it was not only a site where many wars took place, but it also became a cemetery for the many that died in battle there. In 1915, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a medical doctor, performed a burial service for his good friend and former student. Afterwards, he wrote a stirring poem entitled "In Flanders Fields," which I'll read in a few moments. In 15 short lines, McCrae captures the courage, fearlessness, and dreadful reality of war and death. The images he described of young people's lives, once so full of hope and beauty, overcome by the ravages of war, are some of the most vivid and moving ever penned. To this day, the poem continues to be an emotional salute to young men and women who have given their lives in war. They protect our lands, our people, and the freedoms we cherish most. McCrae's challenge to take up the torch of the fallen warriors is as meaningful today as it was then. After the poem "In Flanders Field" was published, the red poppy became a symbol of the blood that was shed by our soldiers during battle. In 1918, a young woman named Melina Michael began a campaign that made the poppy the national symbol of sacrifice. On September 27, 1920, the poppy became the official flower of the American Legion family as a way to encourage people to remember the soldiers who fought and died during the war. In 1924, the American Legion began distributing poppies for donations. The money they received provides active duty military personnel and their families with medical aid and financial assistance. Poppies were originally worn on lapels and displayed on Memorial Day in remembrance of our fallen warriors. But today, we also wear them on Veterans Day as a salute to all of our veterans. This is John McCrae's original poem, In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies glow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Every generation has produced its own heroes, men and women who have defended freedom and confronted wrong wherever it has been found. Not all of our heroes have fought in military campaigns. Terrorist attacks of 2001 reminded us all how we depend on our fellow citizens to protect, defend, and serve so that we may all live in freedom. These are the people who run into buildings that you and I run out of. They stand ready to serve at a moment's notice and to come to our aid. With those of you who serve as law enforcement or firefighters or any other emergency personnel, please stand so that we may honor you. Please be seated. Some of our heroes paid the ultimate price for freedom we enjoy. Jesus himself said, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." John 15:13. If you have lost a family member in the line of duty or in the defense of our country or in protecting our well-being of our fellow citizens, please stand. If you have served in World War II, please stand. you served in the Korean conflict, please stand. The Vietnam War. Grenada. Operation Desert Storm. Operation Iraqi Freedom or Operation Enduring Freedom. And if you've served in any peacekeeping forces, please stand. We also want to show our thanks to those among us who have fought on this nation's battlefronts or who have kept the peace around the world. As the choir sings each campaign, we ask that you, if those who have served, would please stand. So when you hear your song, please stand. And then after you hear your song, please be seated. That being the Army or the National Guard, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, or Coast Guard. So please stand when you hear your song. We want to do that so we can give you a small gift by one of our young people. So thank you for that. Ronald Reagan once said, "Some people live their entire lifetime and wonder if they have ever made a difference in this world. A veteran does not have that problem."
wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for up to the amount of anything, including his life. What more do we ask? Thank you, veterans, for what you've done for us. We appreciate living in peace as we do because of you. Thank you.
We know
America. The name is a synonym around the world for justice, freedom, and liberty. America.
It's where you can say what you please.
To whomever you please,
Whenever you please.
wherever you please.
And not have to worry about who's listening. How do you see your freedoms today?
This was written 30 years ago. America.
It's the place where you can fly as high as your dreams will take you.
America.
It's walking out your front door anytime you want to.
While other countries have had to build walls and fences to keep their citizens from getting out, America still has people standing in line, waiting to get in.
We're different from any place else in the world. I mean, where else on earth do they boil tea to make it hot and put ice in it to make it cold? Sugar to make it sweet and lemon to make it sour, all at the same time.
And where else do you have mobile homes that don't move?
Or instant coffee for slow relaxing.
Or keep juries locked in all night while the prisoners go home.
Or park cars on driveways.
Or drive cars on parkways.
But let me tell you about this America.
She has been called the family of freedom,
The arena of opportunity,
the land of the brave,
the residence of justice,
and the light of liberty.
But to me, she's home. And I think I like that best of all.
Now, I can't be sure about you and yours, but as for me and mine, we believe in America.
Oh, glory, the star-spangled banner has come to symbolize the deep appreciation that words cannot describe. A simple faith in freedom is a grand and glorious prize that flows unseen but touches every fiber of our lives. When our children go to school, when we worship as we please, when we read the morning paper, knowing that we're free, we may not know the words to say, but feel it in our hearts. We're privileged and we're blessed
Rodney Lee delivered this eloquent and profound statement in 1864. It is as true today and vital as it was then. Quote, knowing that intercessory prayer is our mightiest weapon and the uppermost call for all Christians today, I pleadingly urge our people everywhere to pray. Believing in that prayer is the greatest contribution that our people can make in this critical hour. I humbly urge that we take time to pray, to really pray. From 2 Chronicles 7:14-15. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Now my eyes will open, and my ears attentive to the prayer offered in this place.
Amen. My name is Pastor Brian Gilroy. I'm the lead minister here at Garden City Church of Christ. It has been our privilege and our honor to bring you this performance on America We Must Not Forget. And I want to just let you hear those words of what we just sang as a choir, because it's so true to what we need to do in America again. Our only hope for healing is in Him. So let us pray for America, that God would shed His grace on thee. And as we pray for America, we stay for America before His sovereign hand on our knees. I pray for America. It does my heart such great wonder to see people stand for God bless America. And I pray that America will bless God. I would like to, at the moment, can we please turn the house lights up for one more time? I want to be able to recognize our veterans that this performance has been for. We thank you so much for your service, whether in peacetime or in war. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. That's why we wanted to do this performance. So would you please, as a congregation, would you please thank our veterans one more time? Veteran is special to us, please know that, and we have all had, either have served or have folks that are serving or have served in our families, and we just appreciate you all. But I do want to say, I saw 2 World War II veterans stand up, and they are always a special breed to me, so thank you for our World War II veterans. Younger people may not know this, but they are what has been called the greatest generation. And I am always thankful for them and their service. At this time, I'd like to also want to say thank you to Ann. She's already been thanked, but we could not do what we do as a choir without her leading us, people who are not professionals. So she puts up with it, but she is a professional, but we are not. So she puts up with us, but we want to thank Ann one more time. And because this is our last performance, I also want to let you know that, as Ann has said, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes to decorate that hallway, decorate outside, our packages that we gave to our veterans. By the way, if you are a veteran here and you did not get observed with a package of a gift, please see us after this performance. We want to make sure you get one of those. But all that has to be done by a lot of extra people, including those in the back. So would you please give a hand to all those that are participating? I would like to also acknowledge our sound man, because he is what helps us every Tuesday night when we practice, and without him, he would make us all sound really bad. And he has that power to do so. But I want to thank Jeff Schneider for that. Thank you for being here this evening, and may God bless all of our veterans, and may God bless America. You are dismissed.